Yo, what is going on, guys? Got a video for you here today titled Why Men Are Walking Away from Dating. Now, this is told by a woman, so we will see how accurate she gets it. Let's jump right in. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments.
After reading tens of thousands of your comments over the years, I know there are a multitude of reasons why even the most desirable men are walking away from dating. It can be summed up with: the juice ain't worth the squeeze. If you're a man, let me know which ones resonate. And if you're a woman who wants to attract and keep a good man, you may want to pay attention and make some personal adjustments to make sure your juice is worth it.
Whenever I see videos like this, man, I oftentimes believe that the women making them don't actually give a damn. It reminds me of like the, oh, I regret feminism now type videos, where you have these women get on, they pretend to understand the struggles of men. Maybe they do because they've heard it so many times, but a lot of them actually don't really care, and they're just trying to, grow a male audience or sell courses to women or something like this.
If you're new to my channel, I help men decode modern women so they can find, attract, and keep their keeper, or simply have better relationships with women if they prefer to stay single. Welcome to Just the Tip. All right, let's do this. Jake will be our fictional man, ready to go MGTOW. 1. Unrealistic expectations. If you watch any of the Red Pill channels, you'll probably have seen a panel of high-maintenance, low-value women listing off their must-haves: 6 feet tall, six-pack abs, and a minimum of a six-figure income, or a trust fund, your typical Chad.
I mean, a lot of people say, like, oh, the women on the internet, the ones that get on podcasts and things like this, they're not indicative of the average woman. But let me tell you guys, the average woman does really have some unrealistic expectations. Like, some of them, most of them, in fact, are completely delusional about some of the things that they think that they deserve out of a man. That we hear that word so many times on this channel, guys, where women will make TikTok videos, or they'll be talking about men, and they'll always come to the conclusion that they deserve something simply because they exist. I deserve a man who does this for me. He should pay for that. He has to do this. And women have these expectations, but very little of the time. In fact, I would argue pretty much none of the time do they have any actual expectations of themselves or what they should be offering to men. It's all about them.
Abs and a minimum of a six-figure income, or a trust fund, your typical Chad. Now, the truth is, those women are selected for their clickbaitable audacity. Just like men perhaps secretly desire the perfect woman, a perfect 10 who's an angel in public and an OnlyFans in the bedroom, men can be happy with a decent woman who isn't perfect, but who makes them feel good overall.
Yeah, so these women, they are chosen on these podcasts a lot of the times because, they get a lot of viewers because of how stupid they actually are. But let's not pretend like this is not really common. Like, women are out here and they do have really unrealistic dating expectations. You can have women out here, man, who are like single mothers, and they think that they deserve a dude who makes six figures. It's completely ridiculous. You'll have a woman out here, she'll bring nothing to the relationship except student debt and disloyalty, and she'll say that she requires a dude who's over X amount of height. It's completely stupid, right? There is no, there's no balance here as to what men might get out of the relationship. In fact, men are not really considered at all to be part of the equation. Women are demanding relationships from men, and never do they actually consider the things that men might be interested in or want from them. But yeah, a lot of these women on podcasts are completely ridiculous. But the average woman's mindset these days when it comes to dating is also pretty damn ridiculous too.
However, though most women can be happy without a Chad, they have been brainwashed by both men and other women to think they should want them. And at the slightest sign of lack, they look for excuses to dismiss a good man who might actually be the perfect fit for them.
No, women haven't been brainwashed. I'm so sick of hearing this argument, man, of like, oh, women are just poor little defenseless creatures who got brainwashed by society, and that's why they want these tall, ripped dudes who make a lot of money. Like, no, they haven't been brainwashed. They're actively choosing these guys because they want them. I'm so sick of us, just making these videos, man, just running defense for women. I'll see these videos all over the place. Oh, women just got baited into believing feminism, but really they wanted to believe in it because it benefited them. You see what I'm saying? They didn't, they just suddenly, they got convinced to end up in this highly attractive dude's bedroom. No, she chose to be there.
Key point. While some women are setting up OnlyFans accounts, most women aren't pushing the angel OF ideal. There's a reason. More on that in a minute. Example, Jake went on several dates where he felt that the woman he had met had a long requirements checklist. One date ended rather abruptly when he mentioned he didn't have a six-figure salary yet. Many men feel pressured by unrealistic expectations, leading to feelings of inadequacy and frustration. Unfortunately, some men have unknowingly encouraged women's expectations by constantly saying that's what we all want. If you say something loud enough and long enough, people start to believe it.
Wait. So this is men's fault. How did... So let me get this straight. Because women are out here demanding dudes who make six figures, it's somehow my fault because I've said that women are chasing dudes who want six figures. We somehow circle back to blaming men and making it men's fault. This is crazy, guys. You can't make this stuff up. Women are out here choosing these guys, right? Choosing men who make a lot of money, who are jacked. And if I come out here and I say, well, women are choosing men who make a lot of money and are jacked, then apparently I'm brainwashing women. Like, there is no way, guys. The lack of accountability is so... This is what I'm talking about, guys, is women make videos like this, right? And they just parrot, like they parrot what they've heard dudes say. So they don't actually understand where it's coming from. They don't actually understand the struggles that men go through or the things that they're experiencing. They're just they might as well just be reading off of ChatGPT. And so everything in between is like, well, we're back to taking no accountability. We're back to blaming men. That's crazy.
Women's expectations by constantly saying that's what we all want. If you say something loud enough and long enough, people start to believe it. Women instinctively know this. That is why women's body positivity started. Ladies and gentlemen need to stop telling women they want the perfect man and start acknowledging that kindness, loyalty, and reliability, along with shared values, compatible beliefs, and goals, are what we all truly need.
Well, yeah, this is hilarious, man. This is hilarious. So apparently I need to come out here and start lying and say that women, what women actually desire, guys, is they just want a good man with shared values. No, they don't. They say that they look for these things when they have a camera pointed at their face, or when somebody's asking them and they're just being dishonest. Right? We all know this, guys. Women will say that they want nice men. They'll say that they want one type of man. And then what do? From 18 to 30, they go out here and they chase the men that treat them like crap because they're attractive and they can get away with doing it, right? But now they push 30 and then they'll start saying things like, well, I want a man with integrity. Do you really? Do you really? I'm not going to come out here and start making videos just lying and saying that women want nice men, because they don't. They don't. Women rank, it's so funny, man. They don't care if you're nice if you don't meet the other requirements first. You see what I'm saying? You're not attractive? Well, it doesn't matter if you're mean or nice because she won't give you the time of day anyway. And when I say attractive, I mean like women have an ever-increasing threshold for men that they find attractive, right? If you don't meet that threshold, if you're not highly attractive, then being nice won't help you, my friend. Being mean won't help you. Doing any sort of psychological it won't help you. This is so funny. Videos like this are hilarious to me, man. Let's run it back and let's continue.
And start acknowledging that kindness, loyalty, and reliability, along with shared values, compatible beliefs, and goals, are what we all truly need. 2, past negative experiences. A lot of men have had bad experiences with women, whether they missed the red flags that were there, ignored them, or were masterfully manipulated. Past negative experiences can tarnish their outlook outlook on all women. The unfortunate part is those men often actually don't trust themselves to see the flags or to throw back a throwback when she displays them, because he might believe that's all he can get. Example: after a painful breakup where Jake's girlfriend cheated on him, he found it difficult to trust women again. He decided to take a break from dating and heal to focus on himself. Past negative experiences can leave lasting scars, causing men to step back from dating to avoid further hurt. So ladies need to understand.
Okay, so before we get into the next point here, man, I just want to say this point, okay? I hammer on all the time about how women are terrible at choosing dudes and things like this. And so it comes around the other way, and people are like, well, shouldn't the men just choose better women, right? Shouldn't the men take accountability for the women that they're choosing? And let me just say this, guys, right? The reason why I hold men and women to different standards in terms of this is because the ratio of good men out there is really quite high. Women just don't want them. The ratio of women who will be loyal and kind to you, right, and treat you like a human being is significantly lower for men. There are a lot more women out there these days who display red flags, right? What I'm trying to say, guys, is I hold men to less of a... I still think, obviously, there are red flags in women you should actively avoid, but a lot more women proportionately are very, very bad decisions, right? It's kind of like you're out here and the only water to drink is seawater. Okay, there's so many, particularly in Western countries, man, a lot of them, a significant amount of women have really terrible beliefs. They will not make good girlfriends. They will not make good wives and things like this. I think there are a significant amount of men who would still meet these criteria for women. But again, these are men that women don't want. This is why I don't hold dudes as accountable. I will obviously roast dudes for really obvious red flags and stuff like this. If dudes are out here dating women who display all sorts of different red flags, obviously really stupid. And I do think that men at a certain point are just better off being by themselves. But, you know, the majority of women that you come across in Western day society, man, you can forget about having a lasting relationship with them. I mean, half of them have been with, you know, at least a dozen dudes. It's just, the situation is not tenable, man. It's really not.
Scars. Like we have psychological self-defense mechanisms to protect ourselves, so do men. Practice gentle understanding. It costs nothing but is a priceless gift. 3, financial burden. Even though there are more women than men in post-ed nowadays, and many are making a lot of money, most women want a man to make at least as much as they do. However, supply and demand mean those men are in short supply and have plenty of options.
Yeah, not only this, by the way, not only are these dudes in short supply, you've also got to consider that all of these women who come out here and say, I want, you know, I make, let's just say you have a woman who makes 100 grand, okay? And now she's like, well, I want to date a guy who makes at least 150. This sounds really stupid to us men because we don't care, but women honestly really do look at it this way, man. They don't like to date dudes who earn less money than them. So let's just say you have a career woman who's making 100K a year. She wants a dude who makes 150. The problem is she's now locked herself into only chasing men for serious long-term relationships, that is, that make at least 100K or 150K, right? All of the dudes below that, pretty much invisible to her. She doesn't want a dude who makes 45K a year. She doesn't. She's making 100K. She deserves better. She brings a lot to the table, apparently, even though men don't care. So women who have these high-paying positions, they kind of screw themselves over with their own stupid standards because they come out here and they'll only compete for the dudes for long-term relationships that are doing better than them. They are shrinking their own pool. And I don't feel sorry for women who do this because what ends up happening is they think that if they date a dude who makes less than them, they feel like they're settling. Men never have this, by the way. A man can be rich as hell and date a woman who has no job. Oftentimes, really, guys don't particularly give a damn as long as she's the right kind of girl. They don't care. Dudes don't look at it like, oh, she's only making half as much money as me. That means I'm dating down, right? Right? Like she's on a lower level than me. Dudes don't think like this. I don't really feel empathy for these women at all, to be honest with you.
Even a good man may not feel like busting his balls on a date to an entitled princess, or provide a lifestyle that reaches beyond his income. Example, Jake noticed he was spending a significant portion of his income on dates and gifts, trying to maintain a lifestyle to impress his dates. He felt financially drained and decided it wasn't sustainable. The financial burden of dating can be overwhelming, leading some men to prioritize financial stability over romantic pursuits, with some fellas choosing to rent instead of buy.
Just by the way, guys, this whole money thing is also way more hilarious. Wait until the dudes that are still out there doing this stupid stuff realize that women don't require you to convince them with gifts. This is actually very, very ineffectual. The type of woman that you can convince to like you with gifts is not going to be, your life is probably going to be downhill from there, right? If you bag a woman, shall we say, because of the things that you are buying her, that is probably a very, very bad strategy to get a woman. I'm just throwing it out there, man. Dudes are out here trying to negotiate with women and trying to get women to like them because of the things that they buy her. It's stupid, man. It's really stupid.
Or shop abroad, where their money goes further. Ladies must realize wealthy men have plenty of options, even if some of those options are gold diggers. If you have embraced the bounty of breaking the glass ceiling, you may need to adjust your financial expectations of men and consider other high-value traits like financial responsibility.
Just by the way, a lot of these women won't do this because they think that they're going to be the one to lock down the high guy, the guy who's really up there in terms of income and things like this, right? Whenever you say, don't chase that man, he's got too much options, women will just ignore you. They don't care. They always think they're going to be the unique snowflake who somehow manages to get the guy.
4, lack of appreciation. Unlike many moons ago, now women can do pretty much everything for themselves or hire someone who can. How many times have we heard a woman say, I don't need no man? Well, I'll tell you, many times, too many. If a man isn't needed, it's difficult to appreciate him. No one thrives in a relationship where they feel they can be easily replaced or discarded. Example, Jake frequently planned thoughtful dates and went out of his way for his dates, but rarely received even a tepid thank you, never mind any kind of reciprocation effort, and he felt rarely appreciated, but instead taken for granted. Feeling unappreciated can be very discouraging. Men, like everyone else, need to feel valued in a relationship.
Just by the way, on this whole topic of like giving things to people, this woman is correct, man. A lot of guys stop doing this stuff because there is no gratitude, right? They stop looking after women, they stop doing the dates, they stop doing this, whatever the behavior may be. And this is totally right, because there's a lack of appreciation. Like, why would you go out here doing things with someone when they can't even be bothered to say thank you? Just by the way, though, on this whole strong and independent thing, I don't need no man. It's very funny because women will say this, and men will hear it and say, okay, no problem, and then they'll go the other way, right? But the thing is, women always wind up needing a guy at some point or another anyway. They'll push 30, and then all of a sudden it's back to, oh, I regret feminism now, I want a man. Or, I don't need no man, but she breaks down and she has to call her guy friend, right, to come and help her replace her tire and things like this, man. She got a flat tire, you call a dude. There's a altercation, you call the police, which are also men, right? You've got issues with your plumbing, you call a man. I mean, this is just the way it goes. Women say they're strong and independent men, but the first sign of trouble, whether that be physical, financial, whatever, don't want to pay your bills anymore, they just come running straight back to men anyway. This is why I encourage women to, if you're on that I'm strong and independent train as a woman, please keep going that way. Men are just better off without these women altogether. I think that dudes should really take the words that women say, and I think men do. They hear you say, I'm strong and independent, I don't need no man, and a lot of men say, okay, no problem. Message received.
Be very discouraging. Men, like everyone else, need to feel valued in a relationship. Ladies, you can practice appreciating the men in your lives. Show at least as much appreciation to a generous man as you would to your best friend. 5, focus on personal goals. Some men have a lot on their plates and don't want the distraction that can inevitably come from dating and relationships. Whether they're young and want to get ahead in life or are older and licking their wounds trying to rebuild a life, sometimes the smartest thing to do is to go solo for a while or maybe even forever.
Yeah, see, this is, by the way, this is also what a lot of dudes, I think that that was a really good point at the end there, right? These older guys, oftentimes they've actually lost all of this crap through divorce, by the way. Like, they don't have a choice, okay? They lost their assets, they lost their house, they lost their things, really. Often, and you know, that's not even things like their children, man. The dudes are out here losing. They're losing access to their children, which is so incredibly sad to me, men. But yeah, guys, you know, they lose things in divorce. And so what ends up happening is they have to just rebuild their life afterwards. It's funny because I see women say the same thing, right? Oh, I had to rebuild my life after divorce. No, when a woman says that, what it really means is she didn't get the money that she wanted. And now she's just resuming where she left off. When a man says, you know, I have to start over from divorce, he means start over. He really means like he has been robbed from. You see what I'm saying? That's the real difference there. That's why I don't like it, man. Whenever I see these women say, oh, I have to start over after divorce. Yeah, you started from where you left off. When dudes are starting over, they're starting from way before where they left off, typically.
Life, sometimes the smartest thing to do is to go solo for a while or maybe even forever. Example, Jake is a high achiever in everything he does and passionate about his career and personal growth. He found that the immense effort he put into dating often distracted him from his goals, so he decided to focus on his professional and personal development instead. Many men are choosing to prioritize their individual goals and ambitions over dating, finding fulfillment in their careers and hobbies.
Just by the way, a lot of guys initially didn't want to do this at first, right? A lot of guys, they did what society told them to do. They did what women told them to do. They prioritized women. They made them their whole world. You know, they didn't want anything except to go out there and get a girlfriend. These are the things that a lot of guys wanted to do. They're like, you know, they're trying really hard with women and dating. And what they realize after a while is women don't even respond to that, man. They don't respond to that very well at all. A lot of girls, you make them your priority, they don't like it. As much as they say that they do, they really don't. And so a lot of guys, yeah, they eventually turn around and they say, you know what, I'm going to focus on other things instead. I'm going to focus on my career. I'm going to focus on my personal development. I'm going to focus on hitting the gym or whatever goal that they have, hobbies, etc. And I think this is truthfully a lot healthier for men in general. I don't think that women particularly like it when men don't do this, to be honest with you anyway. I think dudes are way better off in terms of mental health and so on and so forth, working on themselves anyway. We all know that women choose the men who make it to the finish line regardless. A lot of them aren't really looking for a work in progress. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of guys, they go to the finish line and then they just have fun. They just don't care about committing to women after that.
Dual goals and ambitions over dating, finding fulfillment in their careers and hobbies. Ladies must accept that in order to enter a man's life who has a lot on the go, she needs to be an asset, not a liability. Make his life easier by being in it. 6, fear of commitment. There's no shortage of relationship horror stories, many ending with the man losing his shirt, his house, his kids, some kids over there, or even worse. With the divorce rate over 50% and over 85% of divorces initiated by women, no wonder men fear commitment. Even living together can be a trap.
Just by the way, a lot of guys don't fear commitment, right? Like, I think fear is oftentimes the wrong word to use. Like, a lot of guys would love to have a family, they'd love to have a wife and things like this. A lot of guys are not, you know, they're not scared of this. Scared is the wrong word. It's just self-preservation. They don't want to lose all of their things. They don't want to be cheated on. You know, things like this. It's not like, oh, wow, scared, you know, scared of women. I see jokes about that all the time, about how dudes are scared of women. But truthfully, a lot of it doesn't come from, oh, men are just scared of marriage, right? They're just intimidated by women. No, it's just self-preservation. This is something that men have had to do. You know, they don't get married because they realize that it's a scam. That's really what it boils down to. They don't commit to a woman because they realize that she's a psycho. It doesn't mean that he's scared of the woman or something like this, or he's scared of commitment. He just thinks it's a better idea not to do it.
women, no wonder men fear commitment. Even living together can be a trap. Example, Jake has seen many of his friends go through messy divorces. The fear of a similar fate made him wary of committing to a serious relationship, so he opted to stay single. The fear of commitment, fueled by observing adverse outcomes in others' relationships, can lead men to avoid dating altogether. Women must acknowledge the truth in the stats. Though it can happen, reality shows that few women are losing their homes and paying palimony. Want to be a real keeper? Offer a prenup from the get-go. It can.
Just by the way, prenups also can be thrown out of the court of law. Guys, if you're looking at this and you're like, well, I'll get married, don't worry, I'll just get a prenup. These things oftentimes are thrown out of court. I would recommend that you do not risk everything on a prenup. I think it's a very bad idea. People who advocate for them, I don't think they truly understand that you can still absolutely get screwed over.
Actually protect both of you. 7, cultural and societal pressures. We live in a world where every culture and society has its own set of expectations about relationships, marriage, and the roles men and women play. These pressures can be overwhelming, particularly for men who are caught between what they want and what they think they should want. Whether it's the pressure to marry by a certain age, or expectations around providing financially, or the stigma of being single, these societal norms can weigh heavily on a man's mind.
I mean, I can't really speak for all dudes when I say this, but I couldn't give less of a damn, to be honest with you. I think this kind of stuff is more true for women, to be honest. I don't really think the dudes are out here feeling pressured to get into marriage. I mean, maybe you've been with a woman for a long time or something and she's trying to get you to marry her. But I think dudes experience these societal expectations way less. And also dudes are giving less of a damn, right? In terms of these societal expectations, yes, men are expected to do a lot. They're expected to bring X, Y, Z to the relationship. But really what it boils down to is men are still expected to do their traditional behaviors. Women are not, right? Dudes are expected to plan the date, buy the things for the date, buy her everything, look after her financially and physically, solve all of the physical problems in the home, you know, make sure the roof is over the head, all of these sorts of things, right? And so on. Men are expected to do all of this crap, and dudes who go out here and they do this, they're like, okay, can you cook me dinner, please? And the woman is like, no. So, like, there are a lot of societal expectations that are placed on men, traditional behaviors that are expected of men. There's zero that are expected of women. As far as this societal pressure to get married, guys, I couldn't give less of a damn. I think it's a scam, you know, so on and so forth. I don't feel these pressures that this woman is saying. You guys let me know in the comments. I think dudes give far less of a damn about this, to be honest with you.
Some cultures have even more rigid expectations, like needing to marry within a certain community or following specific traditions that don't align with personal desires. When the pressure to conform feels too heavy, it may simply be easier to step away from dating altogether than to risk failing in the eyes of society or family. Example, Jake comes from a culture with strict expectations about marriage and relationships. The pressure to conform led him to step back from dating, feeling that he simply couldn't meet his own desires and society's expectations. Cultural.
I mean, this doesn't make a lot of sense to me, man, to be honest with you. So the dude was feeling pressured to marry, so he didn't marry. Like, I don't know. We're getting a little bit lost in the source here, I think.
And societal pressures can make dating feel like a daunting task, leading some men to simply walk away to avoid conflict and stress. Ladies, if you want to keep him around, let him know you're looking for a relationship based on mutual understanding, not societal approval. If you can, ditch the cultural rule book, or at least try to navigate it together. 8, mental health concerns. This one's big. Stress, anxiety, depression, ADHD, ASD, OCD, PTSD. There are a multitude of mental health conditions that can make dating and relationships confusing, overwhelming, and frustrating.
You know what I think is more true here, man? I think just a lot of modern day women have mental health issues, you know, and they bring these things to the relationship and they just stress the hell out of the dude. That's really what it comes down to, man. A lot of guys, you know, I see a lot of comments of dudes who have been married and things like this, and they're like, you know what? Me and my wife divorced 10 years ago. She took the house, she took the kids, she took everything from me. But that same dude will be like, you know what? I'm far less stressed now. My mental health is so much better. And I think this is truthfully why a lot of guys are walking away, man, is because oftentimes modern women actually cause the mental health conditions themselves. Like dudes who were previously never anxious about anything, stress free, oftentimes these women make these dudes' lives a complete headache. And oftentimes also the women have pre-existing mental health issues when they join these relationships. You know, a lot of them are not exactly stable individuals these days, guys.
That can make dating and relationships confusing, overwhelming, and frustrating. Whether it's not being able to read body language, or not be able to make eye contact, or simply requiring more energy than a man has, the effort required for dating can be exhausting, and some men are bowing out. Example, Jake struggled with anxiety and depression. The added stress of dating exacerbated his mental health issues, so he chose to focus on his well-being before re-entering the dating scene. Men increasingly recognize the importance of mental well-being and may step back from dating to try to focus more on self-care.
See, I think it's more like, hey, if I don't get with a woman, then maybe my life will be less stressful. I mean, I'm sure there's dudes out there who are like, you know what, I'm going to pump the gas off of dating because I'm going through some bad things at this time. But usually the dudes are, you know, pumping the brakes, excuse me, not the gas, pumping the brakes on dating because they don't actually want to invite this stress into their life in the first place. But guys, we're going to be leaving today's episode there. Why do you guys think that dudes are walking away from dating? Make sure you take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next one. Peace.